Glory to Jesus Christ, and welcome to St. Cyril and Methodius Ukrainian Orthodox Church in Madison, Wisconsin. I'm Father Gregory, the pastor. So you'll probably notice that I look a little different this morning, and that's because I had to change computers. The computer I had for my desktop here at home at church been having some problems, so I switched to an old Chromebook. But so apologize for the different how it looks a little different. Last night at Vespers, I had mentioned what we might call the humility of God. When Jesus enters into Jerusalem, though he is greeted in some ways like a mighty conqueror, like Caesar. In fact, on closer examination, we discover that very little of what we see in how he's greeted is commensurate with being a military hero. Rather than coming in on a fine horse, he comes in on the the foal of an ass. Rather than being greeted with banners, he's greeted with foliage. Rather than carpets being laid down, people put their dirty clothes on the ground, and that's how he's greeted, with extraordinary humility. And yet, for all that humility, he caused, as we hear at the very beginning of his life, Herod and all Jerusalem with him to worry, or at least the people who were in positions of authority. The humility of our God, the willingness of God to accept the cross, suffer, and die, is what causes the powers of this world to tremble. They tremble not because they're afraid that Jesus is going to harm them, but because by his humility he shows the vanity of their pursuit of power. This is always, I think, a temptation that we have as Orthodox Christians, to look back at our history and to think, oh, if only we could restore Byzantium, if only we could restore Holy Russia, or the glory of this or that time in our history. In fact, how we proceed as Christians in this life is by the way of humility, of understanding that we are lowly. Lowly here doesn't mean that we don't think we haven't been given gifts and abilities, but rather that we use the gifts and abilities, the talents that God has given us for his glory and for the sake of the gospel. I need to put aside my overwhelming concern for my own benefit and be willing to serve for other people. Well, if you'll excuse me, I've got to get ready for liturgy. Holy Week is starting now in the Orthodox Church. So if you have never been to an Orthodox service, or if you've never, this is the time to try it. If you go to madisonorthodox.com, you'll see our schedule for the week, and hopefully you'll be able to join us. And speaking of joining us, why not think about joining us this morning here at St. Cyril and Methodius Ukrainian Orthodox Church, 1020 Regent Street in downtown Madison. We would love to get to know you. If you're not in the Madison area, maybe think about finding an Orthodox church somewhere where you are. But until then, everyone have a very good Sunday. God bless you, and I look forward to talking to you again soon. Bye-bye.